I was returning from work precisely last week Wednesday, and I got to my usual junction where I would get the vehicle heading to my destination, my home address, and it was so hard getting a vehicle. Like it felt like hours. We've been standing for hours. That's what it felt like. And eventually, one came, and the usual rush. People who are inside who want to get down, and we who would want to get in, that kind of thing. And then eventually we got in, and we discovered that the guy at the driver's seat with the driver were having a beef, and we kind of like, okay, what happened? And the guy was telling us that he didn't do anything, or he didn't say anything, or that he was just telling the driver that well, as if to say, why would he park, or why would he stop in this place where there is a little bit of a messy water. People who are coming down or people who are coming in can get themselves messy. So why did he not stop in a place that at least a little bit dry, that kind of thing. I don't know if it was the way he said it or what, I don't know, but the driver got offended, and he looked at this man and said, okay, do you calm down? I am not driving with you. We thought it was a joke initially, but he was so like, when we saw that, okay, this guy was serious at some point, and the guy at the passenger seat was like, I go nowhere. Why will calm down, And after a while, even we started pleading with the driver, Oga, now you're no vex now, or your carry yours, let us go. The man said he's not going. At the point, he put off his keke, took the key, and stepped out of the keke and went somewhere, to stand, and was waiting for this man. He kept telling the man to come down. The man told, "He's not. I'm not coming down." So at some point, this particular passenger, the driver, was like, "I don't know whether he's actually going to my destination, or he's going taking a different turn. All he knows is that he's not going to come down from this vehicle. He's going home in this keke." And two of them were actually quite stubborn, stubborn people. So if the driver was like, if that is the case, like anybody that is associated with this man, you people should calm down. Or we're trying to beg. So one of us at the other side, three of us, one of the three at the back, actually stepped down and was like, went to even talk to him last, but like, guy, man thing now, man to man. Okay, guy, listen to me, just listen to me. He said he's not going. He goes nowhere with this man. We were there for minutes, probably like 20, 30 minutes, trying to get this man to move his keke. So at some point, this driver, to cut a long story short, this driver, when he saw that this man was not moving, he went to where he was and then dragged him, pushing him out of his vehicle. And you know how embarrassing that kind of thing can be. There were people who were there and all of that. And the man was like, "Why are you pushing me now?" In fact, it's as if they wanted to even fight. And then after a while, right? Um some people, all those people that used to be at those junctions, maybe like control people that used to collect money and give them tickets and all those kind of stops. They called the two of them aside at one corner to talk to them, and shortly afterwards, the passenger came in, and then the driver, and then before long, we the driver kick-started his vehicle, and then we started the journey. And so at that point, two things struck me. That is how life is, right? That is how life is. Sometimes you're praying and you've been praying over something, you're knocking at the door, you're seeking, you're asking, you're in pursuit of a particular thing. But the more you keep pressing for that thing, the more you're experiencing negative feedbacks, what I'll call like stumbling blocks or oppositions or things that are counterproductive. You're putting in so much effort into something, but the feedback you're receiving is just so discouraging, so embarrassing. And it's enough to be like, okay, I give up. I mean, because like, what is all this, right? And but if you can insist, if you can stay put, and if you can insist, especially when you know that you are on the right path, you're on the right track, what you're asking and what you're seeking for is a good thing. It's a righteous thing. Don't just give up at the sight of an opposition, at the sight of what I call like mission impossible, like what I would call like a mountain or a stumbling block or whatever it is that is staring you in the face and giving you that you can never have this, you will never be able to do this kind of you know feedback kind of vibe. Don't give up. Don't let that discourage you or make you to give up on that which you're seeking for, to give up on that which you're asking the Lord of, to give up on that which you're desiring, you know. And then the second thing I want to is that shortly after it was this driver pulled this man, you can imagine you be as a grown up, you and people are there, you're being pushed and dragged like a kid. It's embarrassing. That alone in itself is enough to make the man to be like, I don't understand. Why are you pushing me like this? It's enough to, at that point, if he has been insisting to that point, at that point when he was being dragged out, you'll be like, okay, I beg, carry your this thing and get out from here. You're not the only keke, that even if I'm going to stay here till 11 p.m., so be it. You know, all of this, it's not worth it. That kind of thing. And another person will come and enter, and then we'll go. Perhaps, of course, he will get another vehicle, but only God knows how long it's going to take for him, because I made that day we stood, waiting for keke. So, that kind of thing. Of course, he will get to his home, in another keke, but definitely not at the time that he arrived. And it was shortly after that embarrassing dragging that those people came, like in a matter of 2 minutes. Meanwhile, the entire drama lasted probably up to 20 minutes or even more. Do you get? So, the matter of 2 minutes after the pulling, and then they all came back, and then we left. And the second thing is that sometimes you don't know how close, like this, how close you are to your breakthrough, to your longer with something you've been fighting for, something you've been desiring, something you've been praying for weeks or months, perhaps years. You might be just as close, but just at the height, or at the peak of the greatest pressure, or the greatest, negative feedback, you're like, what's the point? I've been doing this for years, and nothing has changed. I've been praying, I've been seeking, I've been going to this knocking, I've been whatever it is, and nothing has changed. What makes me think that anything is going to change now? And not knowing that you are this close, just 2 minutes, just one more day, just one more push, just one more knock, just one more asking, just one more praying, just one more. And then that mountain, as it were, those oppositions, as it were, would just give in, and you will have your miracle, you will have your breakthrough, you will have what I'll call like an answered prayer, as a physical manifestation of that which you have been seeking for. And this fully just explains the scripture, Matthew chapter 7 verse 8, TPT translation. It says, for every persistent one will get what he asks for. Every persistent, take note of the word persistent, seeker will discover what he longs for, and everyone who knocks persistently will one day find an open door. The key here is not that you just asked. The key here is not that you just knocked or you just sought. It's that you persisted against all odds, against all the negative feedbacks, against all the negative and discouraging moments and experiences that screaming in your face that you better give up. There's no way here. There is no hope here. Nothing is going to change. You're not going to have this. Against all of those, you persist. You persist to the end. The key in receiving or finding or having an open door is not just that you asked or you sought or you knocked just once or a few times and gave up because there was no yield or no results. It is in that consistency and persistently doing so, by doing so I mean knocking, asking, seeking until you have it. I think that is what the acronym push means. Pray until something happens, right? And you remember the story or in Luke chapter 18 verse 1 and 8, the unjust judge and that widow who came to him knocking and trying to seek for his attention to probably intervene in her matter or something. At first, Joshua was like, who is disturbing me? I don't understand. Was not even giving her any listening ear. But I mean, that woman persisted. If she went today, he didn't open, she will go tomorrow, she kept knocking, and unto the point that the unjust judge say, I better answer this one. If I want to have my sleep, if I want to have my peace, if I want to, like, I better answer this woman all unless this woman would weary me. This woman will get me so tired. The way out is not for me to ignore her, it's for me to just answer her because she has been persistent. And the scripture says that if this one, I think in amplified, verse 8, I love how the amplified version puts it, the ending part. He said, will he, when Jesus Christ comes, right, he said, will he find persistent in faith? Will he find those who are persistent in faith on earth? And then I think St. Peter says, will he find this kind of undying faith on earth? So, what is it that you've been asking, you've been desiring, you've been praying? Is it a good thing? Is it God's will for you? Is it a righteous thing? You know, don't give up, right? Keep praying, keep asking, keep knocking, and also open up yourself to whatever direction that God would give to you, or like strategy or whatever. But either way, don't give up. Pray until something happens, because you never know. You might just be this close. I mean, this close to you, things turning around for your good. But when you give up, you would never, or you may never have that, and even if you do, it'll take you a longer time, because you were just this close. And one thing I've also discovered here is that in life you have the highest pressure, or the enemy mounts the greatest pressure on you when you're just this close to your breakthrough, when you're just about to like shift grounds, and experience a breakthrough. That's when the greatest pressure gets to you. So don't let that get to you. Don't let the opinions and the negative feedbacks get you and make you turn your back on that miracle, on that which you've been seeking for, because you may just have been this close. Do you get that? So please, if this blessed you, if you got value, do like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updates. You'll be the first person to get updates like this. This is Standing Strong Podcast, communicating life values, making great impact. Till I come again your way again next time. Stay blessed and keep winning.